Yama, Nyuanyani, Yanadarambu, Guambanagu, Warajari Nurumbang, Guambanagu, Balgalal Nurumbang. Welcome to Wiradjuri country, welcome to Balgalal's country. So there's a very special place here in Peel on the reserve. We call it Balgalal's Hill. Balgalal is a spiritual entity, and Balgalal's role is to cast the first light onto Nurumbang, onto country, which is Bayami's glory. So it's a very, very special place. I'm really privileged to stand here and welcome you to this part of Wiradjuri country. So welcome.
Hi, I'm John Fry. I'm a landscape repairer. I design and manage environmental repair projects. And I'm here today on my little hobby farm at Peel, near Bathurst. This is where I do all my experimentation, and my successes and failures are all written here in the landscape. The Reading Your Landscape Field Day at Peel was really getting a broad range of people who are involved in landscapes to understand how to manage them and how to make them more resilient against droughts, fires and floods. What's really innovative is we can get people into the Peel Hall, on the ground, walking the walk, and we can also get people online later on and reach a far greater audience.
I'm really interested in learning more about how you read your landscape and how you then, with that knowledge, manage to restore it. And it seems like there's a real opportunity there to manage or mitigate the drought risk on your land.
And it will be exciting to inspire other people in the area by showing, as an example, how you can work with the land and have a more productive landscape.
We're looking at a slice of time about 30 years, from 1992 to now. And I came back to Bathurst in 92, moved into my little cabin down there and started a landcare group, the Peel Landcare Group and Rivercare Group. The work on the Clear Creek we did was really about stopping the loss of topsoil and riverbanks. So with fencing the stock out, letting it regenerate, changing the water dynamics, putting some structures in the stream bed, Clear Creek has really picked up hundreds of percent. It's amazing. Remember back to those slides, this was just all gravel. This is all sand being washed downstream. So effectively what we did by putting those structures in, we put the steps in, we changed the velocity of the river, and all we had to do was wait for these guys just to come up. All came up naturally.
So part of the reason I was really interested in this workshop was because during the droughts, our gorgeous creek ran dry, and it never used to do that. So I've been trying to, reach out with all the neighbours and work out how we can work together as a watershed to manage the whole system. And everyone sees the need for things to happen, but I think guidance and community working together will be the key.
So in 1825, the squatters were given huge amounts of land, and they'd go as far as you could see in any direction, hundreds of thousands of acres. The squatters then moved the sheep over. So this was grazed right up until 2000. So in theory, this is the biggest carbon drawdown period since settlement. So on the Winbandale rivulet, we didn't get into major structures. It was about fencing the creek out and managing that 100-metre wide strip of riparian corridor as a separate part of the property. So the water quality's picked up, the biodiversity's picked up, and of course the climate function. It's functioning now, cooling the climate, drawing carbon down. It's also creating its own water.
We know that we can keep water in the landscape. So it's great to look at those examples. So I think that that's something that I can do here, just slow the water down, let it sink into the ground, and then that will just certainly work for all the plants that I'm growing here.
I'm really happy with what we've done, but when you look at the whole continent, it's a drop in the bucket. We need to create more of these resilient landscapes ready for climate change and future droughts that we know are going to happen.
When I think of landscape literacy, my mind instantly goes to climate change in just a micro sense. We've definitely noticed microclimate effects here. So if you're now talking about a whole valley or a whole region, there would definitely be less of the extremes because people would be investing in that resilience because they'd see the value of it.
We all benefit from a healthy landscape. So if we can have more people being able to read and restore our landscapes, we can get more people involved. We can go around all these community halls, and there's one in every village, every town. We can scale it up nationally. and then it can be a national program and we can roll it out and make a real difference for climate resilience.
I think it's important for us to do this at a catchment scale because the streams and the waterways flow from one holding to another. So what one landowner does has a big effect on the next landowner. So if we start to correct landscape function high in the catchment, that will have positive benefits for people further down in the catchment.
The best thing about this program is the people you meet and the ideas they have. We learn from each other. It's not a one-way street. And we pick up something all the time from people who've done some little thing, some little innovation on their landscape. And of course then we can spread the word.
I think take one step at a time and relish in being a beginner and being a learner of things.
And also trust in your community. You know, there's so much wisdom.
Yeah.
Listen to your elders.
Meet your neighbors.
Yeah.
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 We better go and have some lunch. Thanks guys, we'll go straight down this way and back up the path. Otherwise you'll get lost in the wilderness.